Hello everyone. In this video we're going to learn how to install OpenAlgo in Windows Server. So we're going to use Amazon AWS and we're going to deploy it in Mumbai server. So let me go to aws.amazon.com. So from here I'm going to go to sign into the console. I already logged in, so it automatically takes me to directly to the console. So I'm going to switch my data center from North Virginia to straight away to Asia Pacific Mumbai. So I'm just going to deploy my server very close to the NSE exchange. So obviously Mumbai is where I'm going to deploy. So I'm going to select the EC2 instance over here. So I'm going to deploy an Windows machine directly. So I'm going to launch an instance. So while launching the instance, I should be selecting what kind of OS I need. So I'm going to select an Windows operating system and I'm going to select the Windows Server Edition. Ensure that you are selecting the Server Edition. So Windows Microsoft Windows Server 2022 base. Ensure that you are selecting the base edition, not the core base. So let me select the recent version here and then let me scroll down and then I'm going to deploy a instance type. Typically a 4 GB RAM or 2 GB RAM is what I'm going to deploy here. So for time being I'm going to use T2 medium, which is nothing but an 4 GB memory with the 2 virtual CPU. It's a T2 medium here. So the billing will be primarily displayed over here. So it depends upon your billing, depends upon the machine, the billing will be happening. And the most important thing is the key pair. So if you're already having a key pair, it's well and good, you can go and select that. Otherwise, if you are deploying for the first time, you have to create a new key pair, which is what I'm also going to do now. So I'm going to create a new pair here. And this key pair is very much required for decoding your server password. So you have to keep this very separately. So I'm going to say like OpenAlgo server. That's the name I'm going to give over here. OpenAlgo hyphen server. It's going to be a PEM key.pem. Right, this PEM key is what it is used while decrypting the server password. So let me create a key pair over here. Okay, automatically the key pair will be downloaded. This file you have to safeguard it. So only if this file is there, then only you'll be able to extract the password of your Windows server. All right, so now what we're gonna do here, we are going to scroll down and then check almost most of the other settings. I'm gonna keep it as it is and I'm gonna launch the instance here. Now once the instance is launched, you can see that the success message, that means your instance is right now getting deployed. I'll go to the instance here. So from the instance, you can see that the instance state is pending. Very soon this pending state will be changing to running state, right? But still you have to wait for 4 minutes of time. So you can see that while we are speaking, the instance state right now getting into a running mode. Alright, now let's connect to the instance now. So I'm going to click on that instance, whatever that we had deployed right now, and then I'm going to click on connect. So from the connect, I'm going to go to the RDP client and then I'm going to scroll down. So where you can see the public DNS IP, this is the one which we'll be using to connect with the machine. And there is also a username administrator. Followed by that, we are having a password option. So under the password option, I'm going to click on the password option. I'm going to update my PEM key, which is my OpenAlgo server. That is my PEM key over here. I'll press open. And this key is what I use to decrypt my password. So let me decrypt my password here. So now we can see that the password and public DNS is there, which is what I'm going to use it to connect. So I'm going to go to Windows R key. I'm going to use my run and then I'm going to simply type mstsc. This will be opening up my remote desktop connection. So let me copy the public DNS and then I'll go to the remote desktop connection. I'll enter the values over here. Followed by that, let me try to connect with that machine here. So let me click on connect. So it will be asking me for an login ID and password. Obviously, I'm going to go to more choices because my username is administrator. Let me go to more choices. From here, I'll select use a different account. The username, I'm going to type administrator. So followed by that, I'm going to copy the password as well from the AWS. And then I'm going to key in my password and then I'm going to click on remember me and then I'll press OK. So it pops up a small notification. So I'm going to select don't ask me again for connections to the computer. And I say yes. So it's a one-time thing. So now I'm directly logged into my Windows machine, and I'll open up Internet Microsoft Edge. So from here I'll say like start without data, and confirm and continue without data, confirm and browsing. That's what I'm going to do here. So once everything is done, let me go to download the Chrome browser, right? So I'm going to go to Google Chrome download. That's what I'm going to do here. Let me download the Google Chrome. It's up to you how you want to use. You can also directly use Internet Edge also to continue with the further OpenAlgo process. So once the download is done, so you will be available over here. Let me click on open file. From here I can, I'm going to quickly install it. It's not going to take much of a time. Now the main question is like why I'm deploying it in Mumbai server. So most likely when you are deploying as close to the exchange, your order speed, the order latency will be pretty much very faster. So your order response time will be very much faster. Your slippage will be very much reduced. So one of the reason why we deploy very close to the exchange, right? Anyways, I'm gonna say select no sign in, skip, and then I got access to the Chrome browser. So I'm gonna close this, right? And then I'm gonna select enhanced add privacy in Chrome. I'm gonna say like got it. Let me open up here, and then I'm gonna straight away start with a Python installation. The first step here is install the Python. So I'm gonna install Python latest version, or maybe anything above 3.10 or 3.11 is recommended. You can also install the latest version also, but here I'm gonna install Python 3.11 because for me it's a known devil. So I'm gonna install Python. I'll go to Python download, and then I'll go and download the latest version. So this goes to python.org. I'll go to the download section, and then the latest edition is like 3.12.3, but however I need older version. So I'll scroll down, I'll go to Python 3.11.9. I'll further scroll down, and then I'll go to the file section. Under the file section, I'm gonna go and download the Windows installer. So this will be installing the Python. So I'm going to run the installer over here. And then while installing Python, ensure that you are always selecting the add Python exe to the path. This is very important. And then press the install now. Yeah. So the setup was successful. That's the message I got. I'm going to close this Python for Windows installer, and now I'm going to go to the next process. So if in case you are not familiar with the process, you can always go to docs.openalgo.in. This is where you can find the complete documentation, complete installation documentation over here. So under the installation guidelines, you'll be able to go to the get started section. From here you can go to the installation. From here you go to the prerequisites. So we had installed Python already. So now we're going to install the Visual Studio Code, right? So it's highly recommended you install the Python first, followed by the Visual Studio Code. So I'll simply type VS Code download, and then I'll simply go and download the VS Code for Windows machine. Yeah, so the download has been done. Let me install the VS Code as well. Windows VS Code installation also, it is straightforward. Press OK. And then I'm going to select I accept, and then next, followed by that next. I'll try to create a desktop icon, and then next, install. So the installation is straightforward, but once the installation is done, we also have to connect with the Python based or Python related plugins or Python related extensions. Extensions is what they call it in VS Code. So installation of Python is straightforward. Installation of VS Code is also straightforward. So installation of VS Code is done. I'm going to launch the VS Code here. So straight away it launches the VS Code. Now once the VS Code is launched, right? So what the first thing I have to do is like I have to go to the extension tab. So on the extreme left hand side, you'll be seeing an extension icon. So click on that extension icon and then select Python over here. So Python. So this will be getting you the Python extension. And this is what it is very important. Install this Python application. So select here and then install it. This is in the installation state right now. Once the installation is done, next we will be installing the extension name called Pylance. Typically the Pylance will be automatically installed along with Python. Alright, you can see here the Python has been already installed. When it is installed, you can see that. Now I'm going to go to Pylance. Pylance is a very important extension. By default it will be installed. So you can see that it is also in an installed state. I'm going to open up the command palette. So Ctrl+Shift+P, if I press, automatically this will be opening up the command palette. So here I'm going to select Python, select interpreter. So just search for Python select interpreter. So this is where we're going to select what Python interpreter you're going to use when you are going to run your Python program using the VS Code. So I'm going to select Python 3.11.9, the version which we had installed right now. So let me select that. And that means now it is highly capable of running your Python application, right? So once this VS Code installation is done, so I'm going to close the VS Code for time being. So we installed VS Code, we had configured the extensions, and we selected the interpreter also. So next, the third one is like the most important one, Git. So the Git is very much important to download OpenAlgo using the Git commands. So we're going to install the Git over here. So let me click on the Git downloads and then I'm going to select for Windows. Even the Git installation also pretty much straightforward. I'm going to install the 64-bit Git for the Windows setup. Enter the standalone installer. So automatically once the installer is downloaded, I'm going to invoke the Git installer. So I'm going to click next. So it is straightforward installation. I'm going to click next, and then next. So I'm going to keep on giving next over here because it is pretty much straightforward. Nothing much to think over here. Alright, so the Git is completely downloaded. Let me finish the download here. Now once the download is done, right, what I'm going to do here is I'll go to the documentation and then I'm going to move on to the next setup. So the next setup is like install the Git by using this git clone command. So let me copy this command. I'm going to open up my VS Code. So VS Code, obviously I can find the icon in the Windows, or you can just simply type Visual Studio Code or VS Code. Automatically you'll be able to access it. So I'm going to go to File, open a folder. So I'm going to create a new folder over here in my document section. So I'll right click and then I'll say like my bridge. So that's a name. You can give any name of your choice, doesn't matter. So select the folder and then the folder will be opened. Now once the folder is opened, the next step is like go to the terminal. So here is the terminal and click on new terminal. This will be opening up the command prompt inside the VS Code, right? Once the command prompt is opened, now what we have to do is like we have to get into this git command, then we have to download the OpenAlgo. So I'm going to directly copy and paste the command. Let me enter. Now you can see that it is downloading the OpenAlgo. So if you go and see on the left hand side under the My Bridge, you'll be seeing the OpenAlgo folder. So inside the OpenAlgo folder, you'll be seeing all the complete Python application you'll be able to see over here. Now under that, we are having a .sample.env. I'm going to right click. I'm going to rename this to .env file. Ensure that the name is like .env. This is very much required. So inside this .env file is where we'll be keeping our broker credentials, right? So once this is done, next part is like let me go to the OpenAlgo folder. I'll say cd space. So maybe I'll zoom in. So cd space OpenAlgo. So enter into the folder and we're going to install the dependencies. We're going to install the dependencies using the pip command. So we're going to use pip install -r requirements. So there's a file name called requirements.txt. So using that file only, we're going to install all the dependencies. So if you could see requirement.txt, it contains all the dependency files. So these dependency libraries is what we're going to install in our OpenAlgo. So I'm going to say requirements.txt, and then I'm going to press enter. So all the dependencies are getting installed. Maybe given maximum a minute or so, it should be done more or less. Alright, you can see that the installation has been completed. So now we are going to go to the .env file, and then I'm going to select the broker. So here I'm going to install for Angel. So I'm going to remove the broker over here under the redirect URL, and then I'm going to simply type Angel, right? So whichever the broker that you would like to connect, that broker name you have to provide as per the broker short code. If in case you have doubts, you can always take the details from the documentation. And then now we're going to go and get the API key and API secret key. So for that, I'm going to go to the documentation part. So in the documentation part, if you go to Angel 1 documentation, right? So there a clean procedure has been already provided. So first step is to go and create an two-factor authentication, which I already had done. So if in case if you haven't done, you have to go to the TOTP portal of Angel Broking. From there, you have to go and generate the QR code. That under the QR code, you also have a QR code token. You have to scan this using an Google Authenticator, and then the TOTP will be automatically generating in your Google Authenticator, which I had already done. So I'm not going to show the procedure here. I'm going to straight away move on to the next procedure. So which is like assume that you are already having a Google Authenticator in your hand. You already enabled TOTP. Next step is like going and getting the API key registration. So I'm going to go to the Smart API developer portal here, right? Maybe the Smart API developer portal, I'll try to do it from my local machine. So I'll go to Smart API portal. From here, I'll go and log in with my profile or my APIs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and create an app. From the create app, I'm going to select the trading API, and the API type is trading API. Followed by that, I'm going to give a name over here. The name I'm going to give like OpenAlgo Win Server. That's the name I'm going to give over here, Win Server. And then the client ID, I'm going to enter the client ID. It's an optional one. So anyways, I'm just entering over here. And the redirect URL, the most important one, I'm going to get it from my server. So here is the redirect URL in my VS Code. I'm just simply going to copy the redirect URL. I'll come back to my redirect URL screen. From there, I'll go and paste it. And then I'm going to click on create app. Right, once I get the success message, I'll be getting access to the API key and API secret key. So here you can see that I'm having an OpenAlgo Windows server. I'm having the API key. So I'm going to copy this API key. So while copying, ensure that you're not copying any spaces, and then go back to your server and replace this broker API key with your API key here. And then again, replace this API secret key with the API and paste the API secret key over here. So once this is done, now the application is ready for launching. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to simply type Python app.py. That's what I'm going to do here, Python app.py. So this will be running the Python Flask application. So I'm going to look into this URL over here. You see this is the URL. So I'm going to select control, and then I'm going to click that URL. Automatically this will be opening up in a browser. So this right now the application has been launched. So once the application is launched, first thing what we have to do is like we have to do a setup. So I'll say like /setup. That's what I'm going to do here, /setup. So for the very first time I have to do a /setup. Automatically I have to enter my username. So I'll enter my username here. This username and password details are generally used for the login purpose into the OpenAlgo. This is your own private login to OpenAlgo, right? And I'm going to enter the password over here. So password, the password you should be enter as per the policy. And once the password of password and confirm password is matched, next enter your email ID. So I'm going to enter my email ID here. And followed by the mobile number. So for time being, I'll enter my dummy mobile number. Otherwise, currently we are not using this mobile number. Later on, for forgot password option, I had left this. If in case I want to trigger an email ID, or if I want to trigger an OTP to that, so for that purpose, I kept an mobile number. So for time being, I'll keep it dummy, and then I'll ensure that it's as per the requirement. Yeah, once it is done, now the registration is done, I'll save this. So automatically you'll be getting the, I'm going to sign into the application using my login credentials. I'm going to get into the Angel login. So Angel is the connected broker. So whatever the .env file, the API key, API secret key and redirect URL that we configured, only to that broker only you can log in at this point in time. So I'm going to log into the Angel portal over here. So let me log in. And then it is asking me for the client ID. So let me enter my account ID. And then followed by that PIN details, and followed by that TOTP. So we're going to log into my test account over here. So let me click on Angel login. So once the Angel login is done, so automatically you'll be able to see the OpenAlgo trading dashboard. That means everything has been configured perfectly. So once you logged in, automatically and parallelly, and another separate process will be starting, which will be downloading the master contract, which you can see it on the extreme bottom right corner. That means the master contract will be downloaded in the database. So we are using SQLite database. So automatically the complete exchange details, symbol details will be downloaded to the master contract, and this is very much required. And once this process is done, you'll be able to place the automated orders using Amibroker or using TradingView or whatever the tool that you want to connect. This is the primary thing, right? Whether data has been downloaded or not, how I can check? You can go to the profile. So from the profile, you can always go to the search, and from the search, you can just simply type what are the symbol that you want to search. Let's say I want to search for Zomato, and then I'll select the exchange. So most likely I'm going to give it in caps. Let me search it out. So obviously you can see that the details of OpenAlgo symbol and the broker symbol, you'll be able to see that. Always use the OpenAlgo symbol to place the order, right? The OpenAlgo symbol remains the same across the brokers. So whatever the broker that you're connecting, your OpenAlgo symbol remains the same. If in case you have any doubts about OpenAlgo symbol, you can always go to the documentation section. Under here, you can go to the OpenAlgo symbol format. So what is the OpenAlgo symbol format for various instruments, for NSE, BSE, NSE, FNDO, for futures, options, commodities, currencies. So everything has been clearly explained in this documentation, right? So keep this handy if in case you need more details about that. And then once this is done, right, now what we are also going to do is like, we're going to install Amibroker, and then we're going to test an order from here. So I'm going to go to the Amibroker portal, and then I'm going to download the Amibroker. Amibroker.com. I'll go here, and then I'm going to download the latest version. Obviously, for time being, I'm going to download the 6.3. Let's say I'll go and download the 64-bit version. So once I download with that, I'm going to install Amibroker as well. That download has been done. I'm going to install Amibroker. Next, and then I say I accept the agreement, and next. Even Amibroker installation also pretty much straightforward. So once the installation of Amibroker is done, right? When you're installing Amibroker for the first time, let's say I'll finish it off and then I'll launch that. So Amibroker got launched, right? So it is by default, it is having some sample US market database, Doesn't matter, we're going to just try it out whether the things are working out or not. So I need some sample strategy over here. So for that purpose, what I'm going to do here is like I'm going to take some simple positional strategy is what I'm going to take it up. So I'll say like I'm going to take a simple strategy name like range filter. Just type range filter market call, or what are the system that you want to test. So here I'm going to take range filter. Let me click on that, and then I'm going to copy the AFL code. Right, so I'll go here and then let me copy the AFL code here, and then I'm going to open up my Amibroker. Let me maximize it. So file, new formula, and from here I'll go and paste the code. And once this is done, let me save this code, file save as. I'll create a folder name called OpenAlgo. Now under OpenAlgo, I'm going to create two different folders is what I'm going to create over here. One is OpenAlgo folder, and inside that I'm going to have one as strategies, probably strategies, and another one is like modules, right? Modules. So once this is done, inside the strategies, I'm going to keep this range filter code. Range filter. Alright, so once the range filter is done, so what I'm going to do is like I'll go and open up a new blank chart, and then I'll ensure that I'll go to the charting section, charts, and then I'll go to the basic charts. From the basic charts, I'll drag and drop the price. If I drag and drop the price, you should be able to see some plain vanilla candlestick charts, but what we need is a strategy. So I'll open up a new blank chart again. I'll right click, I'll ensure that a refresh has been selected. Automatically you'll be able to see the OpenAlgo. Under here I'll go to the strategies, drag and drop the range filter. So you should be able to see the strategies which are running with buy sell signals. So obviously here this database is a daily database, so I'm going to test with the daily database here. Now on top of this, I'm going to add my OpenAlgo's module is what I'm going to add over here. So again, I'm going to go to the documentation section. From the documentation section, I'll go to the Amibroker trading platform. Under trading platform, I'm going to select Amibroker. So from here you can see 3 modules right now. So very soon more and more modules will be implemented. As of now, since I want to do a chart based trading, I'm going to select smart order chart module. Let me copy this information. I'm going to add it to my strategy, right? So I'll open up a new formula here, right? I'm just going to paste this new formula in a new tab, and then I'm going to save this. So a file save as, and then I'm going to say I'll go to the OpenAlgo folder, formulas, OpenAlgo modules. I'll say like smart order chart trading. So that's the name I'm going to give over here. Let me close this. So now if I go to the module section, I'll be having this module. So I'm going to drag and drop this chart module on top of my trading strategy, which is having buy sell short cover coded. So once I'm done with that, now you can readily see that Algo is disabled. That is the screen that you'll be seeing over here. So now I'm going to right click, go to the parameters. Now what I need is, it is asking me for an OpenAlgo API key. So my job is to go and create the OpenAlgo API key. So go to the OpenAlgo portal. So from the OpenAlgo portal, we're going to go to the API section, right? So when you are opening the API key section for the very first time, if you go and show the API, you will not find any API key. So your job is to go and create the API key for the first time. So it's a one-time setup. So just copy this. So once you copied this API key, come back to your AFL code, paste the API key, and then select whichever the symbol that you want to trade. Let's say I want to trade with like Reliance, and you want to select what exchange you want to trade, price type as market order, and what product you want to trade, whether MAS or NRML. NRML maybe if it is like derivative markets, MAS if it is pure intraday trade setup, and then quantity, you select the quantity, how much quantity that you want to punch orders, and then followed by that you're also gonna enable the button trading. If in case you need button trading, you can enable it. And finally, once all the settings are done, we're going to enable the algo mode. So here we are having the host. So when you're running host in your Windows machine, always it's going to be http://127.0.0.1:5000, whichever the port. By default, the entire application will be running on 5000 port. Maybe tomorrow if you're changing the port, you may have to change, or you may have to configure here as well. So I'm going to enable the algo mode over here, right? So once I enable the algo mode, now I'll be able to place orders to my OpenAlgo. So before placing the orders, I'm also going to show, I'll go to Windows, I'll go to the log section, right? And then go to the trace tab, right click over the trace tab, and then trace output, enable that, ensure that internal and external both are enabled. So in my case, I enable both the things, which is very much required to troubleshoot. For troubleshooting purpose, this is very much required. So now I'm going to send a place order over here. I'm going to click on B. B means by entry. BX means by exit. SE is short exit. SX is short exit. SE is short entry. SX is short exit. And close all to close all the open positions. So I'm going to send a B entry over here. When I select, if everything is proper, you'll be able to see that the order ID has been placed, right? That means if you are getting the API response as order ID is getting placed, that means order is successful, which you can also go back and validate in your order book section. So if you go to the order book section, you'll be able to see that the buy order is placed. So let me send the sell order as well. So BX, I'm going to send a sell order. Again, I'm getting a success message. Now some brokers, they will not allow you to place orders outside the market hours. There are brokers like Zerodha, Dhan, and brokers like ICICI Direct, Kotak. So many brokers, they will not allow you to place any orders outside the market hours. So if you are using such kind of brokers, you should aware that you will be able to place only orders during the live market hours only, right? So you can test whenever you are testing it out, test with minimal funds, or with no funds, you can test it out. So try to have an empty account and then try it out before parking the funds. Or there are certain brokers like right now I've been using Angel or Upstocks and a couple of other brokers. They allow to place live orders even after the market hours also. So you can also try with those kind of brokers if you're having funds. Right now, I'm also gonna try with a random bar replay as well. So which symbol is getting fired? What are the symbol that I given in the parameter box? Those symbol will be getting fired always. So Reliance is the symbol, will be getting fired always. So I'm gonna run a bar replay. I'm gonna go to the I think the data is available from 2010 to 2014. I think up to 2014 the data is available. So I'll go back some back date. I'll go to 2013 somewhere. I'll go and pick up some random date, and then I'm gonna run a bar replay. So maybe I'll select something like around August, because that is where we get a lot of signals over here. So I'll go to August, somewhere around August. Let me go and run the bar replay. So as the signal, if it is getting generated, any buy signal is getting generated, instantly you'll be getting a buy signal. Here a sell signal got generated and then a buy signal got generated. Instantly you can see that it is generating an order ID. Hardly it will take less than 300 milliseconds max. It could be anywhere between 100 milliseconds to 300 milliseconds for the complete order to do a complete round trip, right? So you can see that a couple of signals got punched. The same signal, whether it is punched properly or not, you can also go back to the OpenAlgo and then click on the order book. You'll be able to validate that whether the order has been placed properly or not. And whatever the orders has been placed automatically using the APIs, all those instructions will be available in the log section. So you can go to the log section and you can see what order has been placed, what information has been transmitted, what confirmation we got from the broker, and what is the timestamp, means when the order has been placed exactly. Everything you'll be able to see from the log section. Order book contains manual order as well as automated orders, whereas order log section contains only orders placed automatically, right? So I hope this would have given you more clarity in integrating OpenAlgo in Windows Server, and also along with that, how to use Amibroker to automate your simple strategy. Probably I'm sure if in case if you have any doubts, you can also use our community assistant, which is there in the Discord section. I'll also give the link in the description as well. So if in case we are facing any doubts, anytime you can raise the issue. I say thank you for listening to me patiently. See you in yet another video with more interesting content. Thank you.